this video, I'll be showing you how to analyze and monitor your stock in SAP S/4HANA. We'll be looking at some familiar reports, but in Fiori. Firstly, we'll be looking at the MMBE display stock overview and how that's used in SAP Fiori. There's a new app called Stock Single Material, which we'll look at and work through. Then MB52, which displays your warehouse stock. Then we'll be looking at an app called Stock Multiple Materials. Also how to monitor and look at slow or non-moving stock. And then lastly, looking at dead stock. So here are the apps that I would like to take you through today and talk about. Okay, so let's start off. Let's look at this display, the stock overview. Firstly, this is the display in the app. If you go to your user settings and about, you will see it references the old MMBE transaction used in GUI and some familiar fields. You'll see there's material, there is a plant code, storage location, batch, which is very important. Then also the tick box where you can include your special stocks that you have in store, display version, which you can look at and select. You can look at all stock types, some SD only, sales and distribution only, batch specific. So there's a few different layouts that you can look at. For now, we're going to select number 1, very important. Then no zero stock lines, which means it will give you only the lines with stock. It will ignore the lines where there's no stock. Then also very important is the different display levels at company code, plant, storage location, batch, segment based batch and special stock. So you can select and deselect some of these. Usually we leave these by default, and you can look at all the different levels of your stock. So the material that I want to look at is FG29. We leave in plant 1710. You'll see that there's the material number. Here's the unit of measure. Usually here's the base unit of measure is BT. Then you've got your different levels here. Firstly, your company, plant, storage location, and then the batch numbers, and then your stock, your available or unrestricted stock by batch level. You also have the different statuses here that you can look at: stock in quality inspection, reserved stock, on order stock, consignment stock, stock in transport between your plants, and stock in transfer between storage locations. So if we go back one, and I want to change the display to SD only, and then execute, you will see it's a simplified view with only the status relevant for SD, available stock, scheduled for delivery and returns. So you can play with the displays to look at certain stock statuses. And the next one I want to look at is the stock for single materials. Also very useful. In here you'll see you can enter your material number directly here. You also have the option to scan it, to click on scan if you want to use the scanner function. If you entered your material number, it will give you firstly important field, reporting dates. You can backdate it and look at previous dates to look at stock levels on certain specific dates, which is very nice to use. Then you've got your table view, which you have here. You can also look at your chart view, where you have different layouts that you can look at. In this case, you can see this is your batch, plant, storage location with the quantities, and then for other plants and storage locations there are no values. Usually I just use this layout. You can also collapse and expand the structure by clicking on these buttons. So if you collapse it, you'll see, if you go down a bit, you'll have your numbers here of unrestricted stock, the other stock types. There's one specific one that I want to show you. Plant 1710, batch 8, storage location 171A. Then you go to stock history, and it will give you a complete stock history here of this specific item in calendar months, since 2022 12 to 2023 11, which is 12 months. And you will see that this is unrestricted stock the numbers that you had there. So it gives you a bit of a history, quite nice to use. Something else that you can look at is at the bottom. So here you've got options to work with the stock. Firstly, you've got manage stock, transfer stock in plant, transfer stock cross plant, material document overview, and stock multiple materials. I'm just going to show you quickly how each of the screens look. You can manage your stock here and play with the numbers and move it around if that's the need. You can select your stock type that you want to move it to. Then you've got the other option is to transfer stock in plant, cross plant. You can look at the material documents. If that's the case, you can just run the selections. There's your plant, storage location, the material number, and the batch. And here's your material documents that you can look at. Okay, let's move on to display warehouse stock, MB52, which you can look at your stock for plant usually. In this case, I just want to show you, it will refer back to MB52, the report that we use on GUI sometimes. I just want to take out this material number and leave it there for the plant. Again, you can look at a different number of fields here. You can also look at special stock indicators if you want to do that, customer stock, project stock, stock in transit, and so on. Then you can execute, and here's the layout that you have. There's your material number, your plant, your location, and so on. Then you can actually go and play with the layouts, but before we look at that, there's your quantities, there's your values, and then you can change the layout and add specific fields like material description. If you want to move over, and I think this one is the plant description. Let's see if we can move this one up and then move it a bit down, and we move plant the material description up, and you can actually, there you have it. So if your material description, plant description, you have your new layout, which you then can also, you can save the layout. In this case, I'm just going to call it DEF, and then we make it user specific and we adopt it, and the layout is saved. So if you run your report again, you can actually select your layout here. There's DEF, and you can execute, and you can use this layout. Then let's move on to stock multiple materials. So similar to MB52, but you've got some extra fields in the adapt filter section that you can look at, that you can add. And here you can see there's quite a number. There's current values of block stock, current value of block stock returns, restricted stock, current value of stock in quality inspection. So you can actually go and add some of these fields to your layout, and it will be available if you run the report. Okay, so that's quite nice to use. So you can add your reporting date, so today, yesterday, and last day of this month, first day of this week. So you can select your option here and then run it. And again, you can add fields in here as well that you want to add to your selection. There's a lot of value fields with values, customer names, material groups. So let's add material group. Okay, material group is made available as a column. If you click on show details, it gives you a summary of the different units of measure and the totals. Same for stock and quality inspection, and then also for block stock, you've got a summary. So let's move on to slow or non-moving materials. Here you've got a few interesting options. You can look at days with low consumption, so you can specify how far back you want to go and look at it. You can also look at the slow moving indicator, which is the total consumption quantity divided by the stock quantity that you have. So you can look at that. You can add a currency of US dollar, and then we select the date and a plant, and we run it. And here you go. You can see for this plant, this layout is by plant, where you can see what's the numbers here. You can play with the displays. If you go to the table view, you will see here's your materials, the slow movers, slow moving indicator equals 0, and then your stock quantities. So the slow moving indicator basically means there is no movement, there was no consumption in this period. Again, you can click on show details, and it will show you what's the summary of your slow moving items by unit of measure, the quantities. If you select the material, you will see that there's a bit more detail that you can look at with different tabs, with different information that you can look at for more analysis.
If you are tired of slow internet speeds and frustrating online ads ruining your online experience, then I have the solution for you. Stereo VPN. With Stereo VPN, you get a one-time payment solution with no hidden fees and unlimited free access to the premium edition. No ads, no interruption, just pure, seamless browsing and streaming. This cutting-edge technology will supercharge your internet connection speed so you can get things done faster and enjoy buffer-free streaming. Stereo VPN follows a strict no-lock policy, ensuring your digital footprint stays yours and yours alone. With the one-click global connection feature, you can effortlessly connect to servers around the world. No more sudden VPN connection switch-offs. Stereo VPN Premium Edition has a kill switch function that activates during such emergencies. The tunnel is instantly closed, ensuring that all of the user's data will remain encrypted until the VPN connection is recovered. Say goodbye to monthly subscriptions and hello to uninterrupted online freedom. Visit the link specified below to get Stereo VPN today.
Then lastly, dead stock. If you look at dead stock, you select a start date, which is the first day of this year, and the last analytics end date is the last day of this year. The display currency again is US dollar, and we're looking at that specific plant. We go, and here's your dead stock. That's actually, there was no movement at all in this plant, and you can analyze these a bit more and look at it and see what you can do about the stock situation. Please like and subscribe.